All right, Jeff Zimmerman here with the two-time super lightweight champion of the world, Regis Prograis. Man, shocked the boxing world with a big announcement. Going to fight Conor Benn, the UK superstar, April 11th in the UK on the undercard of Tyson Fury's return, man. How you doing, Regis?
Man, I'm great, bro. I'm going from gym to gym every day. I'm just leaving the gym, but besides that, man, I'm good.
Yeah, man. I mean, the boxing world got turned up on its head when the announcement came out. First, that Conor Benn was getting a $15 million payday from Zuffa, leaving Eddie in Matchroom. What was your thoughts when you first heard the news?
I mean, for me, well, I don't think the figure is real. I think it's bullshit. I mean, he might be getting some good money, but I don't think it's $15 million for one fight. But at the same time, man, if he is, congratulations for him. Like I know we gonna fight, we could be enemies for a little while, but at the same time, I'm all for the fighters and making their money. And if he can make that type of money in one fight, bro, congratulations to him.
Yeah, and let me ask you, didn't you try to get into that Oscar Duarte card when
Yeah, it just
Hitchinson
pulled
bailed
out.
out?
I mean, I didn't try to. I just put it out there. It was the
Yeah.
same day of the fight. I was like, I'll do it. I'll. I mean, I couldn't. I wasn't in training camp, so I couldn't fight 12 rounds. But I was like, man, I'll. So Duarte don't have no opponent. I was like, bro, I'll go in there. I'll step up, do like an exhibition. I know it's professional boxing. You can't really do it, but I would did something. I would have gotten in the ring that night. Just because I went to the fight, I would be like, man, I'll get in the ring, I'll do something. I can, work around, move around with him or something like that. I would have did it because I've been, I'm not in training camp, but I've been training, so that's something I would have did.
Yeah, man, and we've talked about this before. You're one of the last of the what I would call throwback fighters. Like you may not have been in fight shape, but you've been working out. You stay in the gym pretty consistently, and just
Right.
talk to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, well, one thing I always want to tell any up and coming fighter, any younger fighter, is man, stay in the gym. Like when you stay in the gym, opportunities they present themselves. For me, if I wasn't in a gym training, I couldn't have took this fight with Conor Benn. If I would have been back home, and I've been sacrificed for a long time because my kids live in Texas, and I've been away from them. And I was thought for me, I came because I thought that at first I was supposed to fight Barboza, but I never got a contract from Golden Boy. And then they offered me a Frank Martin fight for that same card, but they offered like 3 weeks before, so obviously I wasn't doing that. And Frank Martin didn't have nothing I wanted anyway. But then I got this call, and it was like, oh man, it's great. I've been in the gym, I've been training, I'm cool, bro. Let's do it. And like I said, I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity if I wouldn't be here training, because it was about 6 weeks away, but I've been training already, so I'm perfectly fine.
So good thing the Golden Boy. I mean, good thing no one took you up on your offer. But how fast did this fight come together with Connor? It seemed like it happened overnight.
It did, bro. It happened real fast. I got the call about 3 days ago, and at first I said, what the thing, what about the weight stipulation? Obviously, we got to watch out for the juice, the jungle juice, you know what that is. But, we got to, the weight stipulation, I said, what's the weight gonna be at? They said 150. I said, well, you can't make it out. Because I never fought, I've been at 40 my whole career, So what I want to do is fight at 145 first and then maybe go to 147. And they said, what about 47? They said, no. I said, what about 49? They said, no. And so then, I said, all right, what about the rehydration clause? And they didn't want to do that either. So, we kind of left it at that for a little while. But then next thing I heard, I was like, man, um, they said that they was kind of moving on. And I was like, bro, no, I want the fight. Like, let's not make. I told my manager, bro, get this fight. Please get this fight. Like, I don't worry about the weight. Just make sure we get tested good, and we ain't got to worry about no weight, none of that stuff. And let's make the fight happen. And it was done. As soon as I said that, it was done. I got a few more dollars because of the weight, but it got done.
Yeah, and I want to get into the weight thing here in a second, but you mentioned the jungle juice or the Jamba juice or whatever juice. Do you believe that Connor took PEDs before during that scandal?
I mean, he tested positive. That's all I can say. If he did or not, I mean, it's just look. I'm not gonna say he did or didn't because I don't know, but he did knock out some. He did have some brutal knockouts, before that, and then after that, it wasn't like that no more. So it is fishy. That stuff is just for me, I can't accuse nobody of nothing, but at the same time, you know, it was fishy. That's all.
Yeah. What do you think of him just leaving Eddie Hearn, who basically stood by his side till like the bitter end, even gave him money, they said, loaned him money during that time. I mean, and then kind of just, I mean, I know it's boxing, I know it's a business, I know it's a lot of crazy shit. You've been around, but what do you
Right,
think about that?
man. Look, it's always three sides to the story, man. Like, listen, Eddie Hearn did give him money at first and stood by his side, and he did invest in him. But at the same time, Eddie Hearn made a lot of money on those two Eubank fights with him. I know he got all that back plus more. So it depends how you look at it. It really does, man. Eddie. I know Eddie made a lot of. He made all that back. Whatever he invested in him, I know he made all that back and more. He invested, because he saw something, and he probably. The thing is, Eddie's a very clever person. So I know Eddie, when he did invest in him, he probably saw this a long time ago about the Eubank thing. He probably, he like, all right, these guys around the same, they could be around the same weight. These guys around the same age. We gonna make this fight maybe 5 years down the line or something like that. And that's probably why Eddie did do all that stuff. So look, listen, I'm all for the first, I'm all for the fighter. Like, make your money, make as much money as you can make, because when Conor Benn retires, when I retire, Eddie Hearn still gonna be promoting. When Conor Benn retires from boxing, Eddie Hearn is still gonna be promoting. Eddie Hearn is still gonna be making money. And if Conor Benn doesn't be a promoter, he won't be making money from the sport no more. So look, I mean, like I said, bro, it's always three sides to the story, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, and obviously he had that great last fight against Eubank, but what do you think of him as a fighter? I mean, obviously he's got the bloodline, his dad Nigel and Chris Eubank Sr. and all that, legendary British
Ronnie
fighters.
James.
What do you think
Ronnie
of Conor
James.
as a fighter?
I, he's okay. I think he's okay. He's not Nigel or nothing like that. He has the Ben last name, but I think we can be honest with ourselves. If Conor Ben didn't have the last name Ben, I don't think he would be a big star as he is. I just don't think so. I don't see it. That's why I definitely, that's why I want to fight, because I know I can beat Conor Ben. I know it's nothing. I feel like it's nothing he can do to beat me. I feel like, don't be surprised if I'm stronger than him on fight night. I know he like to lift weights and all that type of stuff, but I'm not worried about that stuff, man. Yeah, I feel like I'm just not worried about none of that stuff.
So
Yeah,
let me
he's
just
okay.
Yeah, let me just be clear though, and I'm here with Regis Prograis, announced just recently big fight with Conor Benn in the UK, April 11th. The 150 weight you mentioned, that's the weight, no rehydration clause.
Nope.
So listen, man, I mean, you went through this before. So he just fought Chris Eubank, right? Two fights at 160. Now he's coming down to 150, trying to get a 147 title, hopefully, right? That's his goal. You're, like you said, natural 140, going up the 10 pounds. He's coming down, you're going up. You went through this with Devin Haney, and we know how that went. And you called him a weight bully, accused him of, you know,
Right, because we didn't know about it. Basically, we thought that it was supposed to be a certain way, but now with this, you just like what you know about it. I know it's not gonna be a weight stipulation. With Devin, it was supposed to be a weight stipulation, but they didn't. They wasn't worried about it. They care, so they let him get as he want. So you him to be certain. I remember with the Devin fight, bro. Like, we weighed in, and the next day he looked like a damn bodybuilder. I was like, but with this, it's like I'm expect something. For me, I'm expecting kind of been to be 180, 185, 200 pounds. That's fine. For me, I'm not tripping. I just feel like, the skills are gonna pay. That's what's gonna pay the difference. That's gonna pay the bills. And I'm not. I just know I'm better. I just know I'm better. I'm better than him. And I walk around way more comfortable. That's I have to make 140 and kill my none of that stuff no more. I'm gonna be. I feel like I'd be probably strong.
okay, so I'm losing you there. Can you hear me,
Oh
Regis?
shit! Hold on. I dropped the phone. Hold on. My bad, man. I dropped the phone. Shit.
No, that's all right.
Oh, wait. I got it. I dropped the phone. My bad. Go ahead.
No, no worry. So you feel okay though if he comes in like you said 175, 180. Now that you know going in,
I'm
you're
cool.
not worried.
Now that I know going in, for me, what I know going like with Devin, I didn't expect Devin to be looking like that. For me, I expect Conor Benn to look like a damn bodybuilder when I see him on fight night. I expect him to be stocky, real stocky. That's what I expect. So whatever he is, I'm not really worried about it. I just feel like I'm not. Sometimes you get surprised by things, but I'm not really worried about that. I'm not worried about what kind of. I feel like I can beat him. That's it. I know I can beat him, and that's it. I feel like I'm better. That's all. Weight wise, no way. I feel like I'm better.
So what do you think you'll be going in to fight night? What weight?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what he walk around. I don't know what he walks
No,
around
what
at right
about
now.
you?
I
What
don't.
about you?
I don't really do like tell people my weight because then they'll know. I'm. I walk around probably like 160 or something like that. I used to walk around like 160, but I've been lifting for a little while too. So my body changed a little bit too.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, man, I'm sure you're not making chump change, getting this fight. It was a big fight. That Jojo Diaz win probably helped as well, I can imagine.
I'm pretty sure. Probably so.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because of
Look,
JoJo thing. Yeah.
just switching gears real quick. We got some fights. It looks like Spence may be coming back. I was with him a couple weeks ago at Roy Jones' new gym in Dallas. So next time you're in town,
Okay.
you need to check it out. But he
Yeah.
basically came out like a couple days later. It sounds like he's going to fight Tim Zhu. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I got Arrow, man. People don't. I think a lot of people kind of forgetting they sleeping on Arrow, man. How good Arrow used to be. Arrow was the before Crawford did his thing with Arrow, man. Arrow was the boogeyman of the division, man. Arrow was a beast, So I think everybody sleeping on Arrow, but I got Arrow. I'm not gonna lie, I got Arrow in the fight. If the same Arrow of the old comes back, I got Arrow Spence. But it depends who shows up. But I definitely think the Arrow is better than Tim too.
Didn't you fight him in the amateurs?
Or them twice now. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And remind me,
Mm-hmm.
how did you do? Did he beat you twice or?
He beat me twice. The first fight was close. We fought in Dallas at the state championship, the Golden Glove championship. And I got out the ring. People said I won, but I felt like I lost it. That he beat me. He definitely beat me the second time. We fought at the some national stuff. Man, at the time, and Arrow was like I think Arrow was a 5-time or 6-time national champion. And when I fought him the first time in a Texas State Golden Glove, that's why I knew how good I was because that was my first time even getting a state. And he was like a 5-time national champion. I was like, all right, and I did my thing against him. Obviously he knew the point system a little better than me, but I did my thing and yeah, but he won. He went to be. I think he went on to be a national champion at the time.
Yeah, and an Olympian, as we know, and the rest is history.
Yep.
What
Right.
about Keith one-time Thurman, man? The old guards haven't all gone away. He's one time coming back against Fundora, probably the most unique guy in all of boxing, based on his
Right.
height.
Right. Right. Uh-huh. Right. That's a good fight. I would have Fundora. I mean, Key hasn't been in the ring for a long time. He been inactive. He probably been in a gym, training and stuff like that. But I know, sometimes you get those big paydays, and it's like, man, you stay at the gym. He got that big payday from Pacquiao. And he was good for a while. But man, I think Fundora is kind of hard to beat unless you just catch him. I think he can catch him. But I think Fundora should win the fight.
Okay, yeah, Keith had one fight in Australia, I think, early last year, but then, the Fundora fight got pushed out. And I'll wrap up here
Right.
with
Right.
you in a
Right.
minute, but Ryan Garcia, man, got his first world title. Um, he proved a lot of skeptics wrong, I think, in the process, had a good game plan. Him and his dad won the fight. Now, he might get that potentially a Devin rematch, which would be huge, or he's even calling out Shakur. What are your thoughts on just him being the champ and
I
all that?
think I mean, it's good, man. Happy for Ryan that he's finally a champion now. I think that he should do a Devin rematch for sure. Clear the air with all this stuff with nobody knows if he cheated or not cheated. I don't know. Who knows basically, but I think that he should get Devin is a champion. He's a champion. It's history. That'll be a real big fight. I think he can make that fight. I think Shakur will probably beat him with the Devin fight. That'll be it's interesting, but I think if he fights Shakur and Shakur beats him, then a lot of people not gonna really be interested in seeing him fight, seeing him fight Devin. So I think that, he should fight. For me, I think that he should fight Devin again. Just take a little break. Sometimes training camps are really hard sometimes. So, he probably take a break and fight when he wants to. Maybe if Devin wants to be active, Devin will get a fight or something like that. And, then after that, they can plan something else. But what I want to see is, him and Devin fighting.
Yeah, and I should let everyone know the last time we spoke, you picked Devin to beat Brian Norman. One of the few people that actually on record picked that fight. Devin
Right.
looked great that night.
I look, bro. I fought Devin. Devin, like, I know we don't like a lot of people. I say we. A lot of people just don't like Devin. But Devin he's better than what people think. You gotta realize, bro. Like, Devin is when when you have those F1 races and you go to a pit stop and they have a whole team that change everything fast, that's what Devin has around him. He has that whole team of everybody's around him to make him better at
Mm.
something. So Devin has a machine behind him, and Devin is better than what I think. Devin is better than what people think he is. I think we just don't like him because, for me, I called him a private school kid and stuff like that because of how he grew up and stuff. And of course, Bill has a lot to do with that. A lot of people don't like how Bill talks, but man, Devin is definitely better than what people think he is for sure. So I feel like, man, like I definitely feel like, yeah, he looked good in that fight. He beat the hell out of Brian Norman. He broke his nose or some shit like that. So yeah, I feel like Brian is, resumes do matter too. It's about who you fight. Brian Norman knocked some people out, but it wasn't nobody on that level. So yeah, that's why I picked Devin to win.
How excited are you to fight on this Tyson Fury comeback fight? You're going to fight Conor Benn. How excited are you? What should we expect, Regis?
Man, I'm gonna go out there and do my thing for sure. I'm super excited. I mean, I can't have too much excitement right now because we still got, a few weeks away. But man, the thing is, like, I've been training almost the whole time. I was supposed to fight a bunch of people and the fights just never came through. I came out here to Vegas because I thought I was gonna fight Arnold Barboza, and that didn't have. I never got a contract from nobody, and then they offered me the Frank Martin fight, and it was on like a 3 weeks notice. So of course I wasn't gonna do that. And then at the same time, Frank Martin didn't offer me nothing. He doesn't offer me nothing anyway for little money. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So I knew, bro, like I was gonna get a call. That's why I want to tell every young fighter, every up and coming fighter, just stay in the gym. When you stay in the gym, things shake up. Things just seem to happen. If I was still in Texas or I was traveling, if I would have went to Mardi Gras for New Orleans and stuff like that and played and had fun and all that, like I wouldn't get the. I mean, I probably would have got the call, but I wouldn't be ready. But because I've been training, I got a call and I'm ready. So everything works itself out.
Yeah. Well, listen, Regis, man, I know you're busy. I know you're in camp now. Appreciate the time and good luck. April 11th, Conor Benn. That's a super fight, man. We'll talk
Super
after.
fight. You're right. Exactly, man. Thank you, brother.
All right. Take care.
All right, man. See you.